Dorothy Henriksen returned from Florida before sunrise, expecting to fire the ovens. The lock was new, shining under the porch light, her key ground to a halt against the tumblers. Inside, a sledgehammer answered.
"This is my bakery. My key has worked that lock for 50 years.
Mom, you are back early. We weren't expecting you until next week.
What have you done? Where is my oven?"
In the alley, the original 1956 oven lay in pieces on the wet asphalt.
You signed the contract. 30-day modernization. It's already underway.
I never signed anything. I was in Florida, Andrew. Who did this?
You don't see the vision. The bakery needs this. Dad would have understood.
Your father built this place with his own hands. He would be sick.
Andrew placed the contract on the dusty counter. The signature was smooth, too polished to be Dorothy's tired hand. Frank's photograph still hung on the wall, his smile frozen. The question in his eyes was unbearable.
I never write that neatly. My hands shake. That's not my mark.
You were exhausted. You signed it and forgot. Stress does that.
He's treating me like a confused old woman. This isn't a quarterly report. It's Frank's soul.
In 1958, Frank laid these maple boards himself. He said the floor would outlast them both.
He promised this place would smell of cinnamon until our grandchildren were grown. Now it reeks of paint. You are erasing your father. This isn't progress. It's murder.
He'd understand. Numbers don't lie. We're losing money.
The white paint swallowed the brick. Dorothy stood firm, a lone witness to the destruction.
The work goes on. I have the contract. There's nothing you can do.
This bakery won 3 blue ribbons at the state fair. You are erasing our history.
History doesn't pay the bills. The future is a modern cafe.
Henriksen's had been a Madison fixture for 67 years. Every wedding cake, every Saturday morning coffee.
Frank would be heartbroken. He built this for the long haul.
The ribbon-winning oven was gone, replaced by a stainless steel box that could not hold heat the same way.
You are clinging to a past that's already gone. This is a business, not a shrine.
You have no idea what you are wrecking, but I will not let you win.
The white paint advanced inch by inch, burying Frank's time under a sterile coat.
I don't know how yet, but I will stop this.
The front door swung open with a sharp jingle. A man in a city inspector's uniform stepped inside, badge glinting.
Who's in charge here? I am Brandon, city inspector. We got a complaint about unauthorized work.
I am Andrew Henriksen. Everything's fine. Just a small cosmetic refresh. We pulled all the right paperwork.
A cosmetic permit doesn't cover demolishing ovens or gutting floors. This is a full remodel.
We're just modernizing. There's no structural change. This is really a misunderstanding.
I see code violations. Exposed wiring, no fire stops, and that floor, it's historic. Work stops now.
You can't just shut us down. I have deadlines. Call my lawyer.
Dorothy stood in the debris, heart pounding. For the first time all morning, Andrew's crew had gone silent.
Maybe the city will listen. Maybe this nightmare can still be undone.
Miss, if this is your property, you need to know. He didn't have the right to touch a single board.
Brandon walked past the silent crew, eyes tracking each exposed wire, each missing brace. He knelt near the center of the floor.
This subfloor is original. When was it last examined for rot or settlement?
My husband Frank laid it in 58. He never trusted anyone else with the foundation.
The inspector's hammer struck the maple. The first few spots rang solid. Then a dull thud, a hollow note that swallowed the sound.
There's a void under here. Something isn't solid. This board has to come up now.
This is ridiculous. The floor is fine. You are just buying time for her.
I don't take sides, Mr. Henriksen. But I do notice when a board talks back. That's structural.
He marked the spot with a piece of chalk. The team shifted weight, but no one moved toward the tools.
Frank never mentioned anything hidden. He built this floor with his own hands. But did he build a secret into it?
A worker brought a crowbar. The board groaned as the nails gave way, releasing a scent of old metal and time. As the board lifted, a dark shape emerged, a steel safe, its surface matte with age, set perfectly into the joists.
Oh, dear God. I never knew. Frank never said a word.
That's a fireproof safe, buried under your husband's own floor. He had his reasons.
This changes nothing. An old safe, probably empty. Let's not waste time.
He built it in. What was he protecting? And from whom?
Nobody touches it. This is an official inspection now. I am calling a locksmith.
The safe sat mute, its dials frozen for decades. The room grew thick with unspoken questions.
I need to know. Whatever Frank hid, it was for me. I can feel it.
Sentimental nonsense. We have a schedule. This is my property now.
Not until I say so. That safe is part of the structure, and this structure is under hold.
Brandon made a quick call. Within an hour, a gray-haired locksmith arrived with a heavy tool bag.
This safe has been sealed since the 1950s. Can you open it without destroying the contents?
This is a circus. We're losing a day's work for a rusty box that probably holds nothing.
Take all the time you need. I've waited since 1971. I can wait another hour.
An hour passed, marked only by the locksmith's careful drilling and the tightening in Dorothy's chest. The locksmith worked the dial, listening to the tumblers, his expression unreadable.
Ridiculous. My father was a baker, not a spy. There's nothing valuable in there.
Whatever Frank hid in that box was worth burying under his own floor. We'll soon know.
What secret did you carry, Frank? What couldn't you tell me?
The dial stopped. The locksmith sat back. It's ready. The shop held its breath. The locksmith turned the handle. The safe door groaned open, releasing the scent of old paper and ink. Inside lay bundles of pre-1,970 cash, stacked with the careful precision of a man who meant them to last. Beneath the money, the original deed from 1956. The ink still dark, the signatures proud, and on top, a sealed envelope with Frank's handwriting. For Dorothy, in perpetuity. Dorothy's hands trembled as she opened the envelope and unfolded the brittle pages. My dearest Dorothy, if you read this, I am gone. The bakery is your heritage, not a business to be gutted. I name it so in this deed. Owned solely by you forever. Protect it from those who would erase our name. Dorothy pressed the letter to her apron. Tears cut tracks through the flour dust. Brandon counted the cash. $310,000. This isn't just savings, it's a weapon.
He saved this bakery from beyond the grave. Now, it's my turn.
That money is mine. I am the next of kin. The bakery is under my LLC.
The deed and letter named Dorothy as sole owner. This was hidden on her property under her husband's work.
A handwritten note doesn't override corporate law. I'll fight this in court.
Then you'll lose. The original 1956 deed predates any LLC. She has the only valid claim.
Andrew's face twisted. He snatched his jacket and slammed the bakery door so hard the windows rattled.
I won't let him erase Frank's dream. I am going to fight.
Get a lawyer. File for heritage protection. That letter and deed are ironclad if you move fast.
I'll do whatever it takes. Frank trusted me to guard this place.
She still held the letter, the paper warm from her grip. The bakery smelled of paint and dust, but for the first time, hope.
Andrew thinks he can bury our history. He doesn't know what's coming.
By 9, the next morning, Dorothy sat across from a lawyer she'd never met. The deed and letter placed between them. The attorney read Frank's handwriting for a long time. When he spoke, his voice carried caution.
Tell me the truth. Can I win this?
He said the original deed was unassailable, but Andrew would fight with expensive delay tactics. The cash was hers alone. That afternoon, Dorothy filed the heritage protection paperwork and placed the $310,000 in a dedicated restoration trust. Andrew responded with a lawsuit 3 days later. The complaint accused her of incompetence and sought full control.
She's holding up progress for a ghost. The contract is valid. She just forgot signing it.
He's painting me as a confused old woman. Frank warned me this would happen. I will be in that courtroom. I will not be ashamed of my age or my grief.
The half-painted bakery sat behind yellow tape, its floor torn open, while two generations of Henriksons prepared to face each other in court. In discovery, Dorothy's lawyer hired a forensic document examiner. The contract lay under lights, every loop and slant photographed. The expert's report arrived on a Thursday. It stated the signature matched Andrew's hand, not Dorothy's.
I told you I never signed it. He sat at my kitchen table and forged his own mother.
This is a lie. She's confused. She doesn't remember signing. That expert is biased.
The original deed and letter became the axis of the case. Frank's warnings now read like prophecy.
He planned for this betrayal. The safe wasn't just money. It was evidence.
Andrew's lawyer tried to suppress the forgery finding, but the judge allowed it. His credibility cracked. The hearing drew reporters. Dorothy's story spread, a widow fighting her son, armed only with a dead man's love.
No more delays. I want a ruling so I can rebuild what he tried to destroy.
The forgery evidence reshaped the battle. Andrew's suit now looked like fraud, and the bakery's fate teetered in a judge's hands. The courtroom was quiet when Dorothy's lawyer held up the 1956 deed, its ink still dark after 6 decades. He argued that the bakery was Frank's personal property, built before any LLC existed.
Frank put every nail in that floor. He said the bakery belonged to us, not to business.
Then the letter was produced. Dorothy's hands shook as the clerk passed it to the judge. The judge read slowly. "My dearest Dorothy, if you read this, I am gone. The bakery is your heritage." His face remained unreadable, but he paused at the line about protecting it.
This is theater. A dead man's note isn't law.
The courtroom stilled. The letter hung in the air like a verdict not yet spoken.
Hold on, Frank. I am still fighting.
The judge recessed for deliberation. Dorothy clutched her apron, waiting for history to decide. The judge returned from chambers, his expression rigid. He spoke without preamble, his words clipped. Andrew's attorney rose, insisting that Frank's letter was a sentimental note, not a legal document. The judge shook his head. The original deed predates any LLC. That is a hard legal fact. He scheduled a final hearing in 2 weeks, warning that the evidence currently favored Dorothy.
A leaning wasn't a ruling. But for the first time, the law was on my side.
Andrew's face drained. His lawyer took notes, but the confidence was gone.
2 weeks. I'll count the hours until this place is mine again.
They left the courthouse. Dorothy walked alone, Frank's letter folded against her heart.
Just a little longer. The bakery will smell like cinnamon again, I promise.
The bakery waited, hollowed and silent, but Dorothy carried the deed and a dead man's blessing. The 2-week wait turned vicious. Andrew appeared at town meetings, asking why the city protected a condemned fire trap. He told anyone who would listen that Dorothy was confused, that his mother was endangering the neighborhood. Then the heritage designation was challenged. An anonymous complaint argued the bakery lacked historical merit.
He's trying to strangle me in red tape. I know it's Andrew.
The townspeople whispered. Some loyal customers worried the old bakery was a lost cause. Dorothy felt the ground shift. Then a letter arrived. No return address. Drop the case or the bakery won't survive to see a ruling.
He's not just erasing Frank. He's threatening to burn us out. If I walk away, the building stands. If I fight, he might destroy it. I am not cowering. File the response. We meet him in court.
10 days until the final hearing. She would face Andrew unbowed, with a dead man's love as her shield. Dorothy's lawyer combed county archives for days, chasing any proof that Frank intended the deed as separate legacy. In a basement ledger, he found it. A 1958 safety deposit box record signed by Frank Henriksen. The slip listed one item, original property deed. Deposited the same week Frank laid the bakery floor. At the pre-trial hearing, Dorothy's lawyer presented the new evidence. A deputy clerk verified the bank's original stamp. The judge examined the record. This proves the deed was deliberately removed from the business by Mr. Henriksen.
A piece of paper from 60 years ago? It can't undo a legal contract.
The judge silenced him. The deed predates any contract by decades. Your forgery claims are looking weaker by the day.
He's losing. Frank is still guiding this fight from somewhere I can't reach.
The judge set the final hearing for the following Monday. Andrew's lawyer didn't argue the date. Dorothy walked out into thin March sunlight. The bank record a new anchor. The bakery's fate would be decided in days. Monday morning, the courtroom filled. Dorothy took her seat, Frank's letter tucked inside her apron pocket. The judge entered without ceremony. He unfolded a sheet of paper and began to read. This court finds the bakery to be the personal property of Dorothy Henriksen, as established by the 1956 deed and the letter of intent. He dissolved the LLC, removed Andrew from any ownership, and ordered him to pay all legal fees.
We did it, Frank. The bakery is ours again.
This is a joke. You can't just erase my work.
Andrew shoved back his chair and stormed out, the door banging shut behind him.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing what this place really is. Now I can rebuild. Every brick, every board, just as he wanted.
6 weeks after her key failed in the lock, Dorothy Henriksen walked out the courthouse doors as the sole owner of her husband's legacy. She returned to the bakery that afternoon, the wreckage still raw but no longer someone else's. Within a week, a restoration crew was hired. Dorothy supervised every detail.
Put it back exactly where Frank set it, the same 2 inches from the wall.
They sanded the white paint from the bricks until the warm original red reappeared. A sign painter climbed a ladder to restore the 1956 lettering by hand.
Every dollar from that safe is going back into this building.
Neighbors stopped by with coffee and with stories of their first wedding cake from Henriksen's.
That trim must match the original profile. No shortcuts.
The oven was hoisted into place, its firebox rebuilt by a local craftsman. Dorothy worked alongside them, dusted with brick powder until the bakery looked like a memory restored. The morning of the reopening, a quiet crowd gathered beneath the freshly painted Henriksen's Bakery Est 1956 sign. Dorothy stood at the door with a pair of scissors, her hands perfectly steady. The ribbon fell, and applause rippled through the street. The door swung wide. Customers streamed inside where display cases gleamed with danishes and eclairs. Behind the counter, Dorothy wore her navy blue apron, a fresh smudge of flour already on the sleeve.
Welcome back. It's been too long.
A regular customer squeezed her hand.
Frank would be proud. The ovens are full, and the brick is warm.
The restored oven glowed amber through the kitchen doorway, radiating the sweet heat of cinnamon and yeast. Strangers thanked her. Old neighbors left teary.
This is how it was always meant to be.
When the line thinned, Dorothy lifted Frank's photograph from the wall and set it gently beside the cash register.
Thank you, Frank. You held this place together longer than I knew.
A woman buying a box of danishes pointed to the frame.
That's my husband, Frank. He built every inch of this place with his own hands.
The woman smiled, and for a moment the bakery felt less like a business and more like a living room.
He's still here. In the brick, in the wood, in every pastry that comes out of that oven.
She touched the frame lightly, as if Frank might feel it. The morning sun caught the glass, casting a warm square onto the old cash register.
We're not just a business. We're a promise.
And the bakery, humming with voices and cinnamon, felt exactly as Frank had meant it to be. A few days after the reopening, Andrew Henriksen walked past the bakery, drawn by the scent of fresh bread. He stopped. The sign, the brick, the crowded tables. It looked exactly as it had when he was a boy. Through the window, he could see the original maple floor, polished and whole, and his mother smiling.
She actually did it. She won.
Dorothy looked up from the register and saw him. Her hands paused on the pastry box.
Number. I won't give him another inch.
She turned back to her customer. sliding the box across the counter with a steady hand.
I am a stranger here now.
He thrust his hands into his pockets and walked away, his footsteps hollow on the sidewalk. He never worked there again. The bakery belonged to Dorothy and to the memory of the man who built it. After closing, Dorothy sat alone in the bakery. The display case cast a soft glow over the empty tables. She pulled Frank's letter from her apron pocket. The paper was softer now, creased by reading and rereading.
I remember the morning the key wouldn't turn, the sledgehammer inside, Andrew's cool lie, then the hollow sound, the safe, and Frank's words waiting for me like a shield.
She unfolded the letter and read again. My dearest Dorothy, the bakery is your heritage. He had known. He had prepared for all of it, buried his love in steel and ink.
The grief is still here, but it no longer feels like drowning. It feels like being held. The bakery is safe, not because of the court, but because Frank never really left.
She folded the letter, placed it back in the pocket, and stood. The ovens were off, but the brick held the day's warmth. Tomorrow she would fire the ovens again. And every morning after, she stepped outside and turned the key in the lock. The deadbolt slid home with a clean, final sound. She stepped back and looked up at the sign. Henriksen's Bakery Est, 1956, glowing gold in the dusk.
That's your name, Frank. Still up there, after all these years.
The warm interior light spilled through the windows, pooling on the quiet sidewalk. She smiled, a small, weary thing that reached her light blue eyes. Then she turned and walked away, her footsteps steady on the pavement. The bakery stood behind her, its windows bright, its sign a small beacon in the gathering dark. Frank had built this place to outlast them both. It had, and it would, not because of the court or the money, or even the letter, but because a widow had refused to let her husband's love be erased. And in the morning, the ovens would fire again.